Hi everyone. Today we're going to roll out our lower legs. So let's take your roller of choice and place it on the floor. Give yourself a moment where you stand behind your roller, press your feet into the earth, roll your shoulder blades down the back, lengthen to the crown of your head. Take an inhale, exhale, arrive in space. 2 more breaths. Exhale. 1 more. This next time, add movement. Bend your knees, inhale, float your arms up overhead. As you exhale, bend your knees and float yourself forward into a forward fold. Take an inhale where you land. And as you exhale, let yourself drip into gravity a little further. Shake out the back of your head no. Nod your head yes. And then, like a creature, walk your hands forward over your roller and come into a soft down dog. And start to make circles with your pelvis and your hips in one direction, shifting your weight into one hand, the other, one foot, then the other. And then come back to center. Peel the sits bones up and back, lengthen through your legs. And be nice and gentle as you inhale your right leg up, coming into your version of a 3-legged dog this afternoon, or whatever you're doing this. And as you exhale, pull that knee into your chest and float the lower leg onto your roller. You might take your back leg behind you a little bit. Your right leg's on the roller. Shift your hips up and over to the right, and then start to glide forward on the roller to the ankle bone, and then back up to the knee, but not on the kneecap. As you do this, you want to feel the pressure of the roll along the outer blade of the lower right leg. That means you're in a really sloppy half pigeon on that roller, with the hips dripping over to the right if you're on the right leg as you comb through the lower part of the leg. Start to settle in and send your feeling sense to the lower leg. And you might find a spot where it feels good to just hang out. Or maybe good's not the right word, maybe it's more interesting, right? Your hip is opening here as it's over that roller. Feel free to walk your hands forward, drape your body over your leg. Or if that feels like sci-fi, grab a pillow or put your head on a stool. Seriously, support yourself. While you're here, take an inhale. See if you can send your breath down into that lower leg. And start to move your right foot, windshield wipering the foot from side to side, or rotating through the ankle joint underneath you. The range of motion will be dictated by your ankle mobility, the diameter of your roller, and the length of your foot. But you'll start to feel your lower leg bones move. You're having a conversation with that roller from the inside out, outside in. Take another big inhale. Exhale, let yourself get a little heavier on the roller. And see if you've made any progress in that spot. As you start to comb through again. Steamrolling through the tissues. When we open up the front of the leg and the front of the ankle, it'll also help the ankle mobility, and then we'll probably be able to feel more access to our calves and the back of our leg, lower leg too. Start to think about finishing up here for today. And then let's go through a down dog together. Make sure you spread your fingers wide, curl those back toes underneath you, and use your abdominals to gently press yourself up and back into a dog that serves you. Your feet could be nice and wide, your knees could be bent. Shift your hips from side to side, and then give yourself a moment of stillness where you just feel into your lower legs and see if you can feel a difference between one and the other. And as you're ready, Walk your feet a little bit closer together as you inhale the left leg up into whatever three-legged dog happens for you today. And as you exhale, draw the knee in towards your chest, floating your shoulders over your wrists, and float that leg down, lower leg onto the roller. Extend the back leg behind you and start to glide forward into the lower leg and glide back. So just as a reminder, you're combing through the outer lower blade of your lower leg. You're not on the shin bone. And so that often requires that you shift your hips up and over to access it. And this will look different on everybody. If you're a little tighter in your hips, you might be hovering here. That's okay. See if you can let them relax, and then if you get the same sensation. Move yourself on the roller so that you have space, right, to let yourself use the tool. And then once you find it, settle into your breath. Notice if you have any habitual tension in your shoulders, let that go and send your focus to your lower leg. If you've found a spot that feels a little stickier, a little more important, you can hang out there. You can let your upper body relax down onto the floor or onto some sort of pillow, couch, yoga blocks. Start to do those same moves where you make fishtail or windshield wiper moves with the foot, circulate through the ankle joint. Slow your breath so that the nervous system knows it's okay to let go. And as you're ready, if you feel like you've made progress, you can start to introduce movement again. Maybe you start to steamroll through. Focus on one place will often reveal new spots to work through. So that's why once you learn these roles, you have more intelligence. You can go through and find the spots to help you heal, help you move through all the aches and pains, all the emotions. Take a couple more breaths here, a couple more steamrolls through, or if you found a new spot, give yourself that last 2 breaths here on that spot. And then when you're ready, firm through your hands, curl the back toes underneath you, and use your abdominals to lift yourself up and back into a down dog. Let it be a dog that serves you. You can bend your knees, peel the sits bones up and back, shift your hips from side to side, and turn your gaze. And once you find a place of stillness, just breathe into your lower legs. Take an inhale. Exhale, let the front of the ankles soften and relax. One more breath. And then when you're ready, float the knees down towards the floor. Uncurl your toes, set your hips back on your heels. Interlace your hands behind your hips. Reach the knuckles towards the floor. Take a moment. Just give your shoulders a moment. We're using them. Inhale across your collarbones. Exhale, let them draw down the back of the ribs, or excuse me, the shoulder blades draw down the back of the ribs. Now ramp your chin back and turn your gaze over to the left. Feel a stretch to the right side of the front of your throat, collarbones, as you pull your right shoulder blade away from your ear. Take your gaze back center, ramp the chin back again, turn your gaze over to the right. Roll the left collarbones open, pull the left shoulder blade away from your ear, breathe into the front of the left side of your throat. Exhale. Take your gaze back to center. With control, release your hands. Circulate through the wrists, one direction, and then the other. And then sweep your feet forward in front of you and take your right leg, the belly of the lower leg, onto the roller, and take your left leg, cross it over the right. Now just start to bend and re-extend that right leg. Go slow. Breathe down into the lower leg. And start to turn your knees to the left as you bend and re-extend, exploring the inner blade of your right calf. And then you can take your knees over to the right as you bend and re-extend, exploring the outer blade of your right calf. Now the calves can be a little tricky. You can find a spot, rotate side to side. And sometimes if you haven't rolled them in a while, or they're really tight or shut down, you might need a little more pressure to access the first couple of layers. If that's you, spread your fingers wide behind you, press the floor away and lift the hips up. Then allow yourself to glide forward as the roller comes up the back of the calf toward the knee but not in it, and then down the length of the tissue toward the ankle. This is work for your shoulders, upper back, triceps, and wrists, right? And so we don't want to stay here for too long if we don't have to. We're restoring. Usually you can take a couple passes through. You get through the first layer and you can just let your hips rest again on the floor. Yeah. Start to bend and re-extend again. It feels more important. You've gotten through that and they're a little warmer now. You can access them. Now maybe you don't even need to be on your wrists. You can let your forearms rest on the floor. Or, most advanced move, lay all the way down. You might even close your eyes wherever you've landed and give some feeling sense back to the back lower leg again. You can circulate through the knee or just move it laterally from side to side in a given spot. You might also play, similarly to what we do with the front of the ankle, with flexing the foot. You'll feel your calf lengthen underneath you on the roller. And then letting the foot go lax, seeing if you can access the tissues a little deeper after that little activation. Once you've made progress in a spot, maybe you start to do some more bends and re-extends of the legs. Maybe you use this top left leg to gently push down as you steamroll through, increasing the pressure and pinning the calf with the roller. Take another breath here. And then start to think about finishing up on this side for today. Now, as you're ready, if you're down on the floor and you don't need any of those activations, you can just take the left leg, put it on the roller, cross the right leg over, most advanced roll. If you need a little bit more to start, or you want to just see what's happening to start, press yourself up so that you can take a look. Start to bend and re-extend. Send your breath to the lower leg and meet it with the same curiosity and focus that you did with the first side as you explore. And you can take your knees over to the right, explore the inner blade of that lower left leg, and then flip them over to the left, explore the outer blade. Now, just like on the first side, if you have some strength in your shoulders that you want to use to deepen the intensity and get through that first layer, pick yourself up and glide forward into the back of the calf, up to the knee, but not in the knee crease, and then down the length of the leg towards the ankle. This is also core work too, right? It's an exercise that we do in barre class. So do it as much as you need to, but no more. Yeah, once you've broken through that first layer, let your hips come down, maybe come down into your forearms. If your shoulders start to get grumpy, or you just don't want to be up propped up anymore, let yourself go. Lay all the way down. Perhaps you hone in on a spot that feels important. You pause there. Take an inhale as if you could breathe down into that calf. Exhale and start to move maybe a little laterally from side to side, exploring the tightness. See if you have any referrals down the foot, up the hamstring. Maybe play with pausing on a tight line, flexing the foot, feeling that line lengthen underneath you on the roller. Inhale. Exhale and just let the foot go. Stay in stillness. Use that top leg for deepened pressure, or use some subtle movements. Give yourselves a couple more breaths here on this lower leg. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. And then start to think about finishing up. Maybe do a rinse through, some bends and re-extends. And then if you've laid down, let's go ahead and finish with a down dog so we can feel our new calves. Okay. Go ahead, prop yourself back up using a little gentle strength of your core. Push yourself up to sitting and cross your legs in front of you. Go ahead, float forward onto all fours over your roller. Spread the fingers wide as you curl your toes underneath you, and use your abdominals to lift your hips up and back into your down dog. Do any little moves that feel good to you. Maybe you pedal, bending one knee and pressing the other leg long, and switch your side. And then find a place of stillness. Reach through the inner aspects of your heels behind you. Drain them back down into the earth. Take an inhale. Exhale. Press the floor away with your hands. Then walk your hands and feet together. Find a forward fold. That roller is there. If you need a little support, you want to rest your hands there. Bend your knees as much as feels good to you. Take an inhale into the mid and upper back. Exhale. Let yourself get a little heavier. One more big inhale. And as you exhale, push into your heels, tweeze your inner thighs together, and scoop through the abdominals as you roll up one vertebra at a time. The head stays heavy. It's the last thing to arrive. When you get to the top, let your shoulders roll up, back, and down the back of your ribs. Let's take 3 breaths. Big inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, reach out and away. Do it again. Big inhale, arms up overhead. Hands become behind your chest now. Open up through your heart. And one more time. Big inhale, find your edges. Draw your loving energy together, touch your hands, and then draw them into your heart center.